Hey, Brian from Garage Mahal. Today we are working on a 2018 Toyota Tundra. As you can tell, I got one of the wheels off. And we're doing brakes. I'd done the other side and realized that maybe it would make a really good video. And I've been keeping up an extra, camera to watch what I'm doing. Just for the pure fact that I bang my head a lot and I throw the camera angles out. But anyway, this will help keep me better in frame while I'm working. And immediately you'll notice that these brakes are actually not bad, but the customer has been complaining that they're starting to get that shake when they hit the brakes. So that means that the rotor's warped. And on a big piece of metal like this, that is something that you could definitely see would happen. And the other thing is, this comes with like these abutment springs, and that helps the pads go in and out. And it looks like they are broken on here, so we are going to basically put new pads in, kind of like a brake service, new rotors. And if I have enough time, I'm going to actually do the rear brakes as well. But let's see how much we can get done here today. All right, so first you got to undo this brake line up here, so you have some flexibility and everything. You know, I put power equipment on everything, but this is easy enough to probably do by hand. So we'll just back that off, and we'll get that kind of out of the way. So when we remove this, now to set up, you got to make sure you have your two big S hooks. One is basically going to sit cradled over the top here to kind of support the whole brake as we're working on it. So hopefully you'll be able to see. And you have behind here, you have an 18 millimeter nut that's on the back. Now, unlike traditional brakes, this has kind of like a rail system that holds up the brake pad. So what happens, those are like slides that the brakes slide on rather than your traditional caliper. You'll kind of understand once I get it apart. But traditionally, you'd be looking at getting these smaller bolts off first, top and bottom. However, that squeezes both sides of the brake caliper together. And there's actually a seal in here, and the brake fluid flows between the two seals on both sides of the brake pad, brake caliper rather. So that gives you a general idea how this is like a little bit different than your average like SUV, truck, or even a car. So anyway, let's get this set up. A little bit of power to get these off, and I pre-loosened them, of course, because sometimes they are a little difficult to get off here. I don't need the extension on this, so we'll pull off that. And get that bottom one. And you can see it's already falling. So, okay. So we have that out of the way. And we are going to put this other hook in here. And we're going to have it rest on kind of like this arm up here. And it is a little tight. You're going to bend the brake line a little bit out of place. So don't be too scared of that. Alright, just let me hang that out. I'm going to get this rotor a little more stabilized on here. Okay. Now we're going to unhook it again. We're going to we're going to rest this up on top here so you can kind of see what's going on. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, that angle looks pretty good. Anyway, these are the slides, and you have this little pin in here that you basically want to push out through that little hole. And then that comes out. And then this is like your spring slide. That's going to hold them in place. So we're going to put a new one, so we really don't need that anymore. But then you have these slides that you're going to have to get out of place. So push that out. And see, they're pretty rusted up pretty good. So we'll have to use the plier to kind of twist it and pull that out. And you want to catch these abutment springs as they fall. Okay, so they're cracked and broken. So the reason why we're changing, even though it doesn't look like there's a lot of wear on the pads. They're about halfway through, but there's really no movement on them back and forth. And these suckers are, this one's in here pretty good. Okay, we got that out. Now, while I have it out, I have a little brass brush that I use to kind of get like some of the heavy dirt and grime off these things. All right, just get the heavier stuff off, and then I'll show you what we use to really clean them. And all this corrosion on the rail is going to make it not ride as smooth. So get your typical Scotch-Brite pad and then just kind of clean as you go. And you don't have to make it like down to bare metal, but you want to get it as clean as you can kind of get it. Just basically so they feel smooth, and you'll feel when you're getting there. You don't want to wear too much metal off these things because you want it tight, but you don't want it tight, if you know what I mean. Okay, right, so that one's good. And if you have like a light sandpaper, that would probably work too, but I like these Scotch-Brite pads because you're not going to be taking too much off as you go through. And just make sure you clean them up good. Rotate action there. A couple more twists, I think we're good there with that. Okay, so these pads now will come out pretty easy, but I just kind of rotate it so you guys can kind of see that a little bit better. And we're going to rotate this around again. Side. These suckers are heavy, so basically going to pull these pads out, and you can kind of see how it's kind of, they're not coming out as easy as they should. Kind of falling into two pieces as we do that. And what happens is you just get a lot of road salt and grime and build up and all sorts of other crap that's in there. Alright, so I'm going to use, I use this stuff, this Extreme Simply Green. They use it for cleaning aircraft parts. I like spraying in here because it's a little more environmentally friendly, even though I'm going to be using some regular brake clean here in a second. And I like to get it from all different angles and just kind of let this stuff sit and soak. Hopefully not get my tools all gummed up. Okay, that's just going to help free up some of that grease and road grime. Okay, now I'm going to use my caliper tool. And I'm basically going to put it here on the side. This one's by Lang 279. It's like perfect for doing this. Give it a little help till it gets started. Okay, almost there. Okay, so I'm going to position this just about in the middle so you can kind of see. Now it's basically just pulling down on it, and it's going to push your brake pistons in. You want to go slow because you don't want to go super fast and rupture any of the baffles. So just nice, smooth and controlled. You can see how it pushes that all the way back in. Okay, so we got enough clearance there. Just flip it, and then that comes out, and then we are ready for the next brake job. Anyway, that's a Lang 279. Great tool. All right, so we got the pistons pushed back in. Now we're going to go through this with a that brass brush again, and we're basically just going to be cleaning the grooves out on the brake slides on both sides. Now that we got this stuff loosened up pretty good. There, yeah, that's good. Okay. Now I like using a little Dremel tool with a brush on it just to kind of finish up, but what I do is I'll just go around it on the edges. Okay. Alright, so I think we're pretty good there. Alright, now we'll actually use some brake cleaner, and we're not using tons of it. I'm going to do the last rinse, get some of that water rinsed off, and now we're going to actually spray down our actual caliper. Spray down our rotor, I mean. Alright, put my Leatherman away. Spray both sides of this. Now it's just going to get the transport grease off. Okay, we're good there. Get this rotor off out of the way. Alright, so that's the old guy. New guy on. Alright, so got this rotor back on. Alright, next we can start putting the new shoes in. I'll just get the new gear. And what I like to do is I like to grease the slides down pretty good. I use like a red marine grease, so yeah, I'll put some up here, and of course it's going to fall down. Okay, so I'll put the rest on my fingers, and you're just putting it on the base platform where your brake's going to be doing most of the sliding. Up here too, just so everything slides around nice and good. Alright, and the brakes, I usually put the little squeal sensor on what will be the inside of the brake. Okay, kind of line it up there. This is going to be the other side. And they kind of slip in there. They'll sit nice and flush, and then you got the rails that you got to put in. So, and you know what side it is because this side doesn't have the clip on it. That's right there. So, I'll get some grease and put it on this one. I just like to move that up pretty good. And you kind of slip it through the back here. Then you'll kind of feel the holes that the rails slide on. Get this back brake in here a little bit better, and that shoots in all the way. And then we got this. I think I got enough grease left in my gloves. I probably need a little bit more. that lubed up pretty good. Push that through the bottom. I should kind of slip over to the other side. Okay, let's get the grease off my hands. I know it's gloves, I could just change gloves, but with the whole, as this video, there's a little bit of a shortage of some stuff out there in the world. Okay, so I'm going to get this back off the hook. And this thing is a little heavy, so be careful. And we'll get this. Spun around a little bit, and then we'll get the brakes spun out of the way. Okay, we're going to get this top bolt in. There's a couple teeth to kind of hold it. And we'll do this bottom one. Just started, and then this whole brake line gets rebent back up into place. And we'll put that bolt. That was a 12 millimeter if I didn't mention that before. Is still set with 12, so we'll get that. Get that started. That tighten back down. Get rid of these so we don't forget about them later. Okay, so basically we got these slides in, and you want to get this little abutment clip in here at the bottom. Actually, that's the way it's supposed to go. So we can slide this back out, and we're going to slide it through. Okay, now with our needle nose, I think I got a pair here. Yep. Now with the needle nose pliers, we're going to keep this sitting outside on a plate. So see how that spring's sitting out on a plate? I'll replicate that over here as well. Alright, so you want those two little pieces sitting on the other side so that can sit there and maneuver freely. And I say it's going to glide right above the rotor, so but that's fine. That's sitting there nice and out of the way. We got the pins in, and then this new pin clip. And you're going to be looking for the holes, and you're going to kind of like turn it down so it's in position. And this one, I think the hole's right here. We're going to spin that one up into position too. And this kind of cups up like this. So what I try to do is try to feed them both into the hole, the respective holes where they got to go. Oops. Sometimes it's easier said than done. She's not cooperating. There we go. Okay. And then you basically put that down, and then it pops into place. So line both those pins up with those holes, and then it cups in underneath like that. So, and that's basically it. So this brake job is done. We're going to tighten these main fittings down. That's that one. Okay. Hand to work it down. always confuse that. Okay. All right, so torque it to spec. Okay, it's good to go. So everything's back in place, nice and tight. And that's it. Put your wheel on and you are done. Okay, so again, just make sure that you got some movement here. And let's go to the back. We're going to do the back ones. All right, that's that. Wheel out of the way. These are your rear brakes. Like I said, you got some surface rust on them, but there's no lipping on that, so we should be good. Good to go. And this is going to be a whole new set of sockets. But let's see what size we got going on here. Alright, so it's a 17. This is going to be your traditional brake job in the back, with the exception of it being in the back. Okay. Alright, so we got that good. Pull both these pins out, and make sure that we try to keep them as clean as we can. We're going to grease them up here when we're done, and then we push that off to the side. Same thing, we're going to spray that down with our Simply Green aircraft cleaner. Get a little grease and grime off that. All right, let that drip dry. And these brake pads. They're not too bad, but I just like to clean everything up and put fresh stuff in there. And you can see kind of some gum up that's in there. That's what we're trying to get rid of. Okay, so we're going to put our little Dremel brush, which I think we put back here. Let me use the little brass brush right here to kind of get some of the bigger stuff out of the way. Yeah, one's filled up. So that would cause that rail not to work pretty good. I think we're going to take this off just to make things a little bit easier. And it's going to be probably be a 19. Yeah, it's a 19 back there. Bracket off real quick. This way we got the bracket completely off. And with our little Dremel tool, with the brush we can clean that up really quick. And that's where we got a lot of buildup back there. Okay, so put this bracket back on. Okay, let's go get the new pads. I love my Leatherman. Okay, so rear pads, pretty much same as anything else. I go to squirt of grease down here, grease here. I'll just spread that out back here. Grooves. All right, and then basically you're just slipping these pads back in. The other side. Make sure you don't get those clips in the way. Good. Now we're okay in the back there. And just make sure you got movement on them. All right, next we're going to use some ultra disc brake caliber lube. I'm going to put it on these bolts. Caliber. Oh, we gotta push that caliber back. Yeah, see, I'm jumping ahead on everything. Okay. So, tighten this down since it's smaller. This is really where you get to see this Lang 279 work. This is a great angle. Okay. So see, nice and easy, so you don't wreck any of the baffles, but you just push that back, and it just pushes that caliber in, nice and smooth. All right, good. Then we're done. Just loosen it, put it back to tighten, and it's good for the other side. That's your Lang 279. All right. Now we can bring this caliber back over. All right, this is the one we had lubed up, so we'll put that one in the top. Okay, there's that slide. I'll put this one at the bottom. And be generous with this. You definitely want them sliding good. Okay. Now we'll put these brackets back in nice and tight. torque in a second. Let's get these babies in up here. Okay. Let's hand torque everything. And obviously, when you had this bracket off, this would be the time to replace that rotor. Okay, so it's nice and torqued. Torque to spec. All right, I'll do this. Okay, so we're good there. Do the bottom one. Okay. All right. That's basically it. That was your rear brakes and your front brake job on your Toyota Tundra. Anyway, Brian from Garage Mahal, thanks for watching and subscribing. And like I said, that simple green stuff, great stuff. Okay, thanks for watching.